got that cherry bomb.
Welcome to Breaking Beauty Podcast, Ashley.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And, you know, you've just had your second daughter. I can't believe you're just out there working already. You look amazing. What's been different this time around becoming a mom compared to the first time?
Yeah. I think it was less of a shock, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I had postpartum depression the first time, so it was really rough. Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful to get to experience it this time where I don't, because I just felt not present a lot of the time with Jupiter when she was younger. And it wasn't until she turned 2 that I was finally out of this anxiety mode. And so it really is just so nice to A, be able to breastfeed better, and B, to have this really great experience.
Yeah.
And it's also just I think a lot of it has to do with, it's not I went through an identity crisis, you know, for 35 years. I knew who I was, I felt, and I've always, since I was younger, knew what I wanted to do, knew who I was. And I was who am I? I'm a mom now. And how does that fit into my life? And what does that mean? And so it really was a grieving process of who I used to be, where now I've been a mom. So it's just so natural. And it's just, obviously I've also been working nonstop this whole pregnancy where, you know, I was developing Frenshe and Being Frenshe pregnant the first time, but it hadn't launched yet. I wasn't as busy.
Yeah.
So it's just been you know, I think I had a month off and then I was back in the weeds.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes.
And how are you prioritizing taking care of yourself with the second one? And what practices have you been sort of leaning on, or other things that have gone out the window?
I mean, I always meditate. I always try to meditate. So it definitely is still I'm trying to find my morning routine, because I'm, you know, my husband is a saint and he's doing the middle of the night. So she's sleeping really well and has one bottle.
Okay.
She's a bigger baby, so she sleeps really good throughout the night. But she has one bottle at 4 a.m. So he's doing that one. And then I wake up with the girls in the morning. So it's me waking up earlier to get the meditation in, to get the girls up. So it's still you know, just every day is a new day, and you're trying to figure out where it fits in. But I always try to fit in a meditation.
And what does that mean to you? Is it listening to the Calm app, or is it mantras?
No, I do Insight Timer.
Okay.
I also saw a hypnotherapist while I was pregnant, and she made some amazing kind of personal little meditations. And so I love to do hers. But yeah, I mean, Insight Timer for so long helped me. Expectful app helped me too. I loved the Expectful app. But yeah, I just try to, you know, I'm not someone who's very good at just sitting there. So it's always a narrative and everything. But yeah, meditations, I try to get a bath in, you know, my bath whole thing. I love to take a bath. That's something that really winds me down after a day. But I haven't been able to as much, because I'm giving the baby a bath, and I'm okay, by the time it's I can't even do a bath for myself.
Yeah.
So I've been doing more showers. I love to do a shower at night. It feels I kind of wash the stress off of the day.
Yeah.
And then things that have kind of left. I mean, I don't know. I feel even with Jupiter, it was always a balance, and trying to figure out how to balance out my kind of rituals with being a mom. And I think it's just that's the same thing. But I know that if I skip on those rituals, it will come back to haunt me. I'm oh my God, why is my nervous system so off?
Right.
So I have to kind of, you know, really kind of implement those things in my life.
Right. You know, wellness is such a loaded term. I mean, you and I were just talking before we got on mic about clean and what that sort of means and everything. But I feel wellness in LA especially can mean a whole lot of different things.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to you?
I mean, I think that for me, wellness isn't a destination, it's a journey. I've always said that. So it's always changing. And it's really just, I think, something that I'm constantly finding something else that is, you know, way better for me, or a better routine, or, you know, I mean, obviously I had my tools for when I, you know, years ago had realized I suffered from anxiety and depression. And so I had those tools, but then, you know, with hormones, you really can't use those tools.
Yeah.
It's you're fighting a fight. You can't, you know, the hormones are going to win.
Yeah.
So I think just like even like meeting with, you know, I think naturopathic practitioners and learning more about our body and gut health. And so there's always so many different things that are constantly like I'm constantly learning, I think. And so I love that. And I love the idea of just, you know, seeing like where it goes. And, you know, it's ever evolving.
I love the idea also of like wellness retreats. Have you ever done any of those?
Oh, I haven't done a retreat yet, but I put on like wellness. I put on Being Frenshe events at like kind of usually like a wellness area.
Nice.
I haven't done like those really hardcore retreats or anything. It looks interesting.
There's one in Malibu. I can't remember the name.
Ranch.
The Ranch. And then there's another one in Palm Springs. I think it's called like We Care or something. I don't know. Yeah. And it's just like colonics and
oh my gosh.
And fluids.
I love that idea. I think like the Ranch is too diet heavy for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not like interested in that as much. But because I'm always like, I don't know. I feel like if you get really strict on something, it's just like you're bound to bounce back or you know, not do that. But I tend to just like to, I love the activities of that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, put me in a spa any day.
Yeah. I feel like we need to have a gentle version of what's that place called?
The Ranch.
Yeah. We need like more like gentle parenting style version of the Ranch.
I feel like what they miss there is that they are not like, it's almost, the thing about, I don't know, for that stuff to me is like, are we being good to our bodies?
Yeah.
Are we stressing out our bodies? And I think we have to, you know, really love ourselves and our bodies. Our bodies are amazing and what they do is amazing. I mean, the fact that I just had 2 babies and, you know, it's just, I think that we don't give enough to our body, and that's obviously where Being Frenshe like stemmed from. So it really is something that I'm like, okay, I love all these things, but I want to approach, I wish they had like a self-love talk or something like that. I think that's so important and part of the process.
Yeah. And you've mentioned that you used to struggle with anxiety, and I know you've talked about your panic attacks as well. How have you like dealt with that? Has there been anything that's shifted in the last few years?
I think it used to scare me a lot. And with the postpartum depression, I wasn't like I was depressed. I've never been a depressive person. Like my depression's probably like, I'm a very active depression. Like, you know, I wouldn't say I have depression, but I'm like, oh no, I do, because they go hand in hand.
Right.
But it's like, cause you don't notice it, cause I'm not like in bed or something. It's like, you don't notice that happens. And that's when my anxiety gets really bad. So when I was going through the postpartum, I just felt like I don't know why, but it was because it was the hormones that I couldn't really like. I would just go to the extreme. I'd be like, why do I feel this way? And then it would scare me. So the symptom comes, then you get scared by the symptom, then it's like a spiral. Yeah. So now it's like I can point it out really easily. I'm like, oh, I'm just feeling anxiety right now, and that's okay. Like I think it's a lot of the positive talk, and that's what I learned throughout like the years. And obviously I read this book years ago that really changed my life, which is it's called my baby brain is so bad, just FYI. That's the one thing that has not changed for me. It is by Lucinda Bassett, and it's Attacking Anxiety and Depression. And it's all about positive self-talk, not negative, because what you'll start to notice, and what I'm really good at now, is that I'll notice that a thought led me to that anxiety. And so I can point out, oh, what was I just thinking? Oh, that's a thought that made me go here. And it's really just a thought. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's easier said than done, but I'm like, once you've done it for years and you start to learn, you know, you really can start to kind of, you know, even like feelings like I felt really funky the other night and I was just like, gosh, you know, like what is going on? Oh, probably my hormones are dropping, or like, you know, because I'm still obviously
so self-aware.
Yes, I'm very self-aware with it now.
Amazing. Switching gears a little bit, I remember on Instagram when you shared your like very personal journey and about your decision to have breast explant surgery, and I feel like this topic has been bubbling up a lot on our show, especially. And so, what have you learned about yourself since the removal? Any regrets? How you're feeling now?
Don't regret it at all. I get actually so many people reach out to me and tell me that they're going to explant, and I'm so excited for them. I think the biggest thing that I learned was to love my body the way it is. And I think the hardest part was knowing that I would have scars. And I was like, man, I just wish I never did this because now I have scars.
Right.
But my husband always says, like, yeah, but that's what's beautiful is like that was part of your journey.
Right.
And it's what got me to this like really accepting of my body and in every stage, you know. So so even like being pregnant, I was like, oh man, I'm going to be pregnant again. And this is going to be, you know, wild. But like I was obsessed with it. And I just like was so proud. And so I think it's just, you know, for me, I'm really happy and glad I did it. It changed so much. I was like having a lot of inflammation in my body.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it really did show a difference. Like, I don't know if I had breast implant illness, but I definitely felt a difference. Like even my skin just changed.
Oh, really?
Like I have a picture 1 week later in the same room, the same lighting. And I was like pretty pale and like had really dark circles under, and my like a week later it was like warm skin tone. I was like, oh my God, you could just tell in my skin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been very happy with that decision.
Yeah, you just like listen to your gut and you're like, God,
Yeah.
it's time. So interesting. And I just feel like more and more people are, you know, making this decision. It's
I
kind
know.
of the sign of the
Anytime
times.
someone's like like thinking about getting implants, I'm always like, wait. I'm like, do what you got to do, but like just I think know all the information.
Yeah.
You know?
And is there anything for you now with cosmetic enhancements or cosmetic surgery? Is there anything that's off limits, on limits, like anything you're thinking about on your secret Pinterest board? Like,
No, I'm not. Like, I think there was like this part of me in the past that strived for perfectionism and being perfect. And then I realized no one's perfect.
Yeah.
And we're all flawed. And that's actually what makes us the most beautiful.
Right.
And not that I'm, you know, I'm like definitely into lasers. I love a good laser. But there's nothing that I'm like, I can't wait to get that done. Like, I'm just like, no, there's nothing that I want to do. And I think also having children, it changes. You know, it's like I look at my kids and I'm like, gosh, they are so perfect and beautiful.
Yeah.
But they have like little things that I'm like a dimple on their chin that I'm like, I hope you always love that. Like, I hope you never look at yourself and be like, why am I, you know, or compare yourself.
Right.
And so I look at them and I'm just like, man, like, and then my daughter, my 3-year-old, will see me when I look like the worst. Like my hair is like all crazy because I just had it up in a bun and it's like all insane before I jump into a shower. And she's like, "You're so beautiful, mommy." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like melt me. Like this is so crazy."
Oh my goodness.
But she's like
That's
so
sweet.
pure and like it's so sweet. And yeah, she's just always reminds me, even when I was pregnant, she's like, "You're so beautiful." I was like, this little girl is the sweetest thing in the entire world.
That is like a gift when you can see yourself through someone else's eyes.
Yes.
Right? And I think that puts a lot into perspective. You know?
I think we just see each other, like we see ourselves so much in the mirror, and we're like, oh gosh, we've seen ourselves
like,
for
I've
years
seen too
now.
much on, like Zoom cameras. I've seen too much.
It's like,
at this
you know,
point.
but no one's looking at those things,
it's
you know,
true.
and it's like something that bothers you, like someone might not even notice.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So what inspired you to launch Being Frenshe? So you launched this in 2022.
Yeah.
So your number one bestseller is the Cashmere Vanilla line. Is that correct?
The scent, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about the inspo and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I had came out with a blog called Frenshe during COVID, and that was really my journey through like wellness. Like basically my journey was through mental health that led me to wellness. So I had just like realized that I had been suffering from anxiety and depression, and I met with so many different people, and throughout that I just learned so much. And I learned that everything is really a balance. And I just felt like for me, what we know about clean or wellness was just so expensive at the time, like what we had. And I was just like, man, there has to be something where it's like we can share like where to get the best clean, you know, supplies for the house that are not like breaking the bank. And I just felt like there's really a space there. And so that's kind of where Frenshe was created from. And then Being Frenshe was basically a company I had reached out to years ago when I was trying to do another line and failed miserably. I had called them to see if they would help me and want to do it with me. And they were like, well, we create our own lines. We don't really take over lines. And I was like, okay. I was like, great.
Yeah.
But they had reached out to me after Frenshe and they were like, we really love what you're doing with that. Like, have you ever thought about doing something with products? I'm like, no, I'm never doing products again. But we sat down and we were like, what could this look like?
Yeah.
And obviously, for me, I had so many rituals because I was not a person to stay home. Like, if I was home, it was really rough for me because I was so used to working. And especially, I had lost my dog, Maui, prior to that, 2 years prior. And so just kind of being still would always bring the grief. And so I really had to create, because we were all being told to stay home. I was like, I need to create some rituals to just ground me. And I'm someone who's obsessed with candles. And so I always feel like whenever you have a rough night or insomnia, you can just open a window that next day and light a candle, and just really feels like it changes the energy of the room. And so I talked a lot about scent and just my rituals, and basically Being Frenshe was born out of that. So it was really based off of my own personal rituals and giving love to our bodies. And we have the mood science scent technology in it, which makes you feel a different way. So so it's been pretty amazing. We launched with 5 scents, and it turned out that Cashmere Vanilla, when we were developing the scent, I really kind of used a lot of the candles as inspiration.
Right.
And the one we did for Cashmere Vanilla was not over a candle, but I was like, you know what? I was like, have you ever smelled Trader Joe's jasmine rice in your kitchen? And they were like, oh yeah, jasmine rice smells so good. I'm like, no, the Trader Joe's jasmine rice you have to make, and it smells amazing. I'm like, we need to capture that scent. And to be honest, my ex-boyfriend taught me how to make that jasmine rice.
Oh, wow.
So that relationship was horrible, but something amazing came out of it, because Cashmere Vanilla is the top selling scent, and it's basically literally the lab was able to create a bubble around the jasmine rice and take the notes. And that's really where Cashmere Vanilla came from.
Wow.
I know.
I feel like you struck with that scent combo right at the right time.
Yes,
because I feel like vanilla fragrances were so not happening for so long.
I know.
And then it was just everything has vanilla in it again.
Yeah, and Moon Milk is taken off, and that's has vanilla in it as well.
So what's the Moon Milk?
Moon Milk, it's just it was really inspired by my love for chai tea lattes.
Okay.
We were obviously doing a holiday scent, and I was like, okay, what would I do in holiday?
Right.
I really, for me, I want to create scents that are that you're going to use all year round. And I felt like with Moon Milk, it has chai in it, and it just smells warm. It just smells like the holidays, really. And I was like, this is a good vanilla scent which is not going to compete with Cashmere Vanilla.
Right.
So that's what Moon Milk is, and it's it's a scent name, and then also the mood name, of course. I've named them 500 things, but yeah, Moon Milk is one of my favorites. And then also the Palo Santo Sage is by far one of I use the perfume, and people ask me if I'm using Byredo, and I'm like, no, it's mine.
Wow.
They're like, whoa.
Wow.
But I used that for a full year before we launched, and I knew that was going to be a really big one because people asked me so many times when I was out.
That's great. We don't have the Moon Milk here. I need to Google it now.
I know, you need to get Moon Milk.
So is it the Moon Milk is a scent? Correct?
So yeah, basically we have the mood, which is always a mood, and then the scent. So the Moon Milk is the scent name.
I see it. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Lovely. I need to also try that jasmine rice.
It's really good. The Cashmere Vanilla, and you should. It depends on what type of girly you are, because Palo Santo Sage is a little bit more earthier. Okay. I don't know if you can smell this right now, but
I am really into anything that smells like Palo Santo.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because this one is basically I developed this mood off of my postpartum journey the first time.
Okay.
I just felt like I wasn't present, so I was like, I need something that makes me feel present and yet grounded. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Okay.
I love that one.
She's getting high off her own supply, everyone.
It's my favorite.
Oh yeah, this one is the body lotion, everyone, that I'm trying.
It's so good. Everything from obviously body wash to bath bombs to hand lotions to the serum stick, the Soothing Body Serum Stick actually has that one viral for us because it has magnesium in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like for tension anywhere you feel, you know.
Okay, so you could put it like on the back of your neck, that kind of thing.
Yeah, my husband steals mine all the time.
Yeah, I have to say this is Zen vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if I can give Zen vibes to anyone, I've done my job. That is like my favorite thing.
Okay.
I just love to create an experience for people, whether I'm like hosting a dinner party or, you know, doing an event for Being Frenshe. It's like my favorite the thing is to like make their experience really lovely, and that's basically what this line is.
Now, I noticed on Instagram that you just did a whole hair makeover. It was giving movie montage because it's like you got bangs, you got a new color, you got a cut. It was like the whole thing. Like,
it was a spiral.
She's ready. What was the inspiration for the transformation? First of all,
well, I think I was just getting ready for postpartum hair loss. So I was like, okay, I don't want to bleach it anymore right now. My hair is always the healthiest when I'm not bleaching it. So I think I just was like trying to prep for that. Also, I just have had a journey with my hair too. I have like, for me, I call it hair wellness, where it's like I just, you know, where I started years ago to where I am now, where I don't have to wear extensions. It's like so nice. And I remember like having like the top layer of my hair was like this short at one point. So it was just like kept on damaging and it was so much. And then I was diagnosed with alopecia in my 20s. So I think that's when I did like a hard stop and realized, oh, shoot, like I can't just like keep abusing my hair in some way. Like I can't just be like expecting it to do so much at all times. So I think at that point I really like looked into scalp health, and also I've never been bright blonde like I used to because of that. So I really try to do masks. I do tons of oils in my hair and just try to let it relax. And I think, you know, with pregnancy, towards like the last 2 months of pregnancy, since I wasn't like on camera, I really just let my hair like just air dry. And I think it like, for me, it just keeps growing, gets so much healthier. So it really kind of stemmed from me being like, okay, I'm prepping myself for this postpartum hair thing. So I'm going to I had been wanting bangs again.
Yes.
And so I was like, I'm going to do bangs. But then I was like, when I have bangs as a blonde, it just reminds me of like old characters I've played, or like I feel like a little bit like an American Girl doll. So I'm like, I need my little bit of edge. And so I was like, I've got to go back to dark. So I just kind of darkened it, and it was just like a spiral that turned out great. It turned out great. Thank you. And it's so much easier to do now.
So that kind of like teases what's coming next, right? For Being Frenshe.
Yes.
So tell us everything.
So excited. Yeah, I mean, basically, obviously, I just was thinking of, you know, where we would expand to, and hair was my next thing, because that's just like all, I mean, I'm not a hairstylist, but I'm someone who, because of my, you know, journey, just have always wanted to take care of my hair in ways that I could, you know, make it healthier. And so it really inspired the line. And it's basically... There's 3 collections. So it's basically kind of like how we launched with the 5 different scents. There's 3 scents. One is Cashmere Vanilla, which is the moisture collection. Salty is the clarifying collection. And then Lavender Cloud is the restoration collection. So it really is about giving your hair a break. I just felt like there's so many, like, obviously collections in hair that is styling, but there's nothing that's like, actually take the night off and just give your hair some, you know, treat. And I was really excited because for me, I've always loved to do a mask at night. So I like, one of my favorite things in life is to be able to wash my hair and then just put it up and leave it wet with a mask in it.
Okay.
And then just do it the next day, because I have curly hair, so I'm always like blow drying and putting heat on it, and it just feels so freeing. I think it's like reminds me of like a day at the beach or the pool, where you just like don't have to like do your hair right after, and it's just like, oh, this feels so lovely, and I don't have to like think about how much time it's gonna take, you know. So it is like a freeing thing. And I was excited to create an overnight hair mask, which I'm
great.
very excited about. But we have a scalp serum in there. We have a scalp scrub. We have shampoos and conditioners, a moisture like a leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
That's really great. Just the whole idea is to let's embrace our natural hair texture and let's just, like I said, give our hair a break. And so I'm excited. I mean, it's definitely very different from anything out there, and I'm excited to see what people think.
Yeah, that's very cool. Question for you. Did you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Reality show?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I'm like, did I?
That to me was an awakening about the extensions process.
Oh.
Because I've never had extensions. Of course, you see celebrities, you know they get extensions, but
that's funny that show is
because one of the girls and her mom are like extension experts. It was just a revelation to me because it's so much maintenance.
It's so much maintenance and it's damaging your hair in the long run.
Yes, exactly.
So,
but then it must be like, I could see how you would just get on this treadmill and never get off because if you're used to this very, very long, luscious hair and then you have, the reality is you basically have a pixie cut. Yeah. Well, you're going to be going back and going back. It's like probably hard to break the cycle.
It's really hard to break it. Yeah. You have to, I mean, how I did it, you have to kind of be uncomfortable with the uncomfortableness of the hair because it's like your hair is not going to be a good length. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, it feels thinner, but it truly is like you have to give it a break to get it to the other side.
Right.
And I remember kind of easing off by doing like tape-ins for a minute because it was a different style. Like the extension beads, they pull on your hair as it's growing out. So that's why they're the most damaging. Yeah. With tape-ins, at least it's kind of like a thicker piece, so it's like the hair's growing out together and it's not like one single or two single strands type of thing. Not that I want the extension business to go out of business. I'm not saying that at all.
Nobody
and
does.
I'm like so down for anyone who has extensions.
Do whatever you want.
Do what makes you feel good,
Like,
it is just a long process. Yeah. Long process. I spent hours at the hair salon. Hours. And I just, it was for characters that I played that needed to have the extensions, and I was just like, this is taking up a lot of my life.
Did you work with any of the hairstylists in your orbit to kind of come up with the formulations?
Yes, obviously. I definitely leaned on like my team of people and they helped, and so it was really kind of a collaborative thing. I obviously was like, this is not my I've never, for me, I'm like, body care was so like, fun. And obviously I knew like the products that I love, but I was just like, okay, if we're doing something different, what does this look like? So I really leaned on my team.
I wanted to ask you just before we close out about this makeup line that you referenced before that you had done, and maybe didn't go exactly according to plan, Ashley, but can you share some insights about what you learned in that experience and what convinced you when they called you up and said, we should do Being Frenshe? You were apprehensive. What lessons did you take into this newer venture?
I think for me it was really about I basically went to business school that year that I was trying to get funding and trying to do it on my own. I also learned everything from, development of products to Shopify and putting in discount codes. So I really learned everything that goes into a business. So I think I came into this line just being grateful for my partner and my team that I have, because I know how much does go into it and how hard it is. And I also think that, for me, Illuminate, the old makeup line was really just I think I looked at Instagram basically and was like, gosh, it looks so easy to be CEO.
Totally.
Totally. Everyone's doing it, that type of thing. And I was like, and it's not. And when you're really doing it, it's the hardest thing ever. And I was, an actress on 2 shows at the time. So I'm sitting in hair and makeup trying to put discount codes in on Shopify. I'm like, what am I doing right now? Am I okay? Having nervous breakdowns. That's where the anxiety came from and the stress and everything. So I just really learned so much during that time. And when I was coming out with this line, I let go. And I think it had to happen because I think I was just really trying so hard. And I realized, there was times where at night I was like Googling like celebrities that have failed, because I am not kidding you. I was like, I failed at this and this is going to come out and I need to be prepared. Has anybody had a failure in their career?
I think probably all of them.
Every single person had a failure. So I was like, good to have a perspective. But I basically sat there and I realized I had failed and I cried, and I had to pay back my investor.
Yeah.
And I did. And then I think what I learned was it's how you pick yourself back up. And how I picked myself back up was being creative and creating Frenshe, which really had no, like, I wasn't trying to come out with a line or products. I was really trying to just be creative and have that pressure off, to be honest. And so anybody that asked me, like, where do you see this going? I wasn't even thinking about this line.
Right.
I was just like, I'm just happy connecting with people in this moment that we're in COVID. And like, I just want to share my experience through mental health. And so when Being Frenshe actually came about and it happened, I realized that when something is meant to happen, it's actually not as difficult as I thought it should be.
Right.
Like, it felt like I was hitting against walls when I was failing at that other thing.
Yeah.
And this was like seamlessly, like, there's definitely hard times, and there are times that I'm still crying and I'm like, this didn't happen all like the right way, you know? And I'm like, you know, obviously it's not easy running a company, but it has a better flow. And that's what I noticed is the difference, is that when it's meant to, like, when it's successful, it's like, oh, it's like, this
falling
is
into place.
Falling into place. And I think I also just didn't care what it did at that point, because to me, one of the main things I wanted to be in Target with my makeup line. And so when, you know, Target was excited to be with Being Frenshe, to carry Being Frenshe, I was like, oh my gosh, like, it didn't hit me until I saw it in Target. And that's when I kind of broke down and cried, because that's all that mattered to me. Like, I didn't know like what the line was going to do. And I honestly was like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because like I did it. Like, I did it. And that was a success to me. And so the fact that it has taken on what it has, and that people love it, and people come up to me and they're like, I'm expecting them to say, I love a movie that you're in, or like, I love those movies. And they always say like, I just got Being Frenshe, and like, oh my God, I love Being Frenshe. And I'm like, this is so wild. And so it really is like, it's, to be honest, the most successful thing I've ever done personally. So it's, how cool is that? Feels really good. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, and that's really awesome.
That's, I mean, people coming up to you to say you're, and to your point about being just a creative human, and like you've poured your heart and soul into something, and people are loving it, and it's not like big launch in the movie theater, and then it's like, you know, people are rebuying it and connecting with you every single day.
I'm relying on my intuition at all times, because I'm still learning. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, is this the right move? Is this the right, like, I'm behind everything from like the invitation to our events to the marketing. Like, my hands are in it all. And it's because it's important to me. And it's important that it carries what Frenshe originally carries, which is my personal story, you know, on mental health. And so it's just like, to have people love it so much, and you know, it's awesome. I've done acting since I was 3, and I will always love it, and it'll always be like something that I will try to find a project that I love that I'm gonna want to do, and I'm sure that will come in time where I'm like, I have to do this, but I just love what I'm doing. And I think that for me, I feel like I'm doing something that's more important to me, because playing a character is really fun, but it's like someone else's character. And to me, I feel like this is more meaningful. The events that I put on for Being Frenshe, we talk about mental health, and we like, you know, make it a really safe space for people to talk about what they've been through. And I think that, to me, that's like the bigger thing for me. It's not just like selling products. It's like, I really want to connect with people on mental health, and I want to like be there for people and support them. And so I just feel like it's like a little bit more meaningful and more me. And eventually I'll find that acting job and be like, this is the one I'm gonna do. But I'm in a place where I don't have to, and that's really nice. And I have kids, and I want to be present with them, and I'm able to do that with this line. So
has your older daughter watched your movies, any of them?
She has seen High School Musical, I think, when about a year ago, maybe. My husband showed her, and I was like, cute. What are you doing? I was like, and she thought
That's
Zac
awesome.
Efron was her dad. I was like, no, that's not daddy. She's like, daddy. I was like, no. Just because they have dark hair, it is not daddy. Yeah, but it's really funny because she knows I do like Phineas and Ferb because she like can hear my voice, and she's seen that. But it's really funny because recently I went to the Wicked premiere and we were on YouTube watching. She's very excited about Wicked, the movie coming out. So we're watching behind the scenes on YouTube, and the carpet came on, and I didn't tell her I went to the premiere because I was like, she will just be like so mad that I didn't bring her. But she literally has to watch that. She's like, I got to see mommy on carpet. I got to see mommy on carpet. And I'm just like, that's the most exciting thing to her is that I'm on a carpet at the Wicked premiere, which I have nothing to do with. It's like so funny. So she's just like so proud to see me on that. It's really cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I don't think she realizes what I do because, I mean, obviously she wouldn't. She's 3. But she did start to get to the age where she's questioning why people take pictures with me.
Right.
And so we were at like Taylor Swift in Miami, and she was like, Mommy, why are they taking pictures with you? And I truly did not know how to answer that. So I just said, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. And my husband goes, that's what you said? I said, yeah. So I think she actually thinks that you just take pictures with people. That's what you do in life. So it's like really funny. But my husband's like, why don't you say that? Like, you're an actress and like you're, I'm like, how do I explain that to her? Like, it's just weird. I don't know if she's ready for that. And I don't know if I'm ready to like have that discussion with her.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I like how like she's like got a normal life, and it's like her little life is so cute and fun, and I don't know what to say to her. It's like it's a subject that I have to figure out.
Thank you for sharing everything with us today, Ashley. we're gonna close it out with a little rapid fire. Okay. So your favorite binge-worthy TV show right now?
Oh, probably like Real Housewives or something like that.
Which
one? All of them, basically.
Okay. Would you ever do that? A show like that?
No. I never touch like reality like that. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm too like. It's weird if people are even doing behind the scenes of me. Like, I'm so used to being a character on film.
Sure.
There's no way I could be myself.
Right. Yeah.
It would be very difficult. I've tried in the past doing like something. I remember I produced something for E! That was like a day in the life. And that was like, I felt so weird. I was just like, this is like, I give credit to all of those reality stars. Like, I don't know how they do it.
The biggest hair transformation that you've regretted?
Hair transformation. I mean, I haven't really, I guess I went really red one time and I was like, that was a little bit too red. So I don't know if like that red color worked on me.
Right. What is the number one skincare item on your top shelf right now? That's, not Frenshe, not Being Frenshe related.
Probably Jan Marini skincare.
Yeah,
I do love that.
What's your favorite product from that line?
Oh man, there's like 17 steps. Yeah, I know. It's a long, but you know what? I think for me, like before I had that, ritual, I wasn't taking care of my skin like I should. And so I think it created a ritual for me because there's so many different things. But I do love her Jan Marini neck cream. That's a really good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
People are always looking for a good recommendation on that front. So thank you for that. What's the number one makeup item that you keep buying over and over again and you'd be like sad if they discontinued it?
Man, I think they did discontinue it. What happened to the Kosas mascara?
Oh.
What happened?
Interesting.
I cannot find it. It's gone.
Okay.
It was my favorite mascara.
Really?
Like, literally, I don't know what to do now. I truly don't know what to do.
What did you like about it?
Oh my gosh, I really have no lashes. So it like really volumized them, lengthened them.
Okay.
It was like, and clean, and I loved it.
Interesting. Was it called the big, what was it called?
The big
clean or something?
Big clean or something, yeah. It was
the
red.
Big clean mascara for long wear fluffy lashes.
I don't know where it's gone. I've tried DMing them too. I've gone to the extreme lengths of being like, where did it go?
And they didn't get back to you?
No.
Oh my gosh.
There's something that's gone on.
Yeah. We need to get like a federal
we need the download on it.
And the one drugstore beauty item or Target beauty item that people might be surprised that you use nonstop.
Oh, I mean, probably like I love Kristen S. hair.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yes.
Interesting.
And she's a friend of mine.
Oh, amazing.
Yep.
What product do you like?
She just knows everything about curls. That woman just knows curly hair. And so I love like the curl cream.
Interesting.
It's been one of my go-tos whenever I'm wearing my hair natural. She just like, I mean, again, she's a friend of mine, but yeah, she's just always like the products I feel work really well when I'm trying to air dry my hair.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
she's iconic. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
This is really fun.
Thank you so much.
It's been great spending time with you, and can't wait to try more of the Being Frenshe universe and the hair care as well.
I'm so excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.